When recording this podcast with Andy from Revive the Rose, ran into some technical difficulties. And for the first 8 minutes of this podcast, we do not have video, but we do have audio for you to enjoy. So if you can hold on for 8 minutes, you'll be able to see us do buttes at that point in time. Thank you for joining.
Oh, thanks for having me again, man. It's been too long.
Yeah, Andy from Revive the Rose from Welland. We did a podcast 2019, I think we said. It's been 4 years or so.
Yeah, it was either 2019 or like 2020. I think it was 2019 though.
It's been a while.
Too long, man. Yeah.
And even back then, actually, we shot that podcast upstairs in my actual office at the time, where we did, it doubled as my Right Choice Happenings brokerage / media room / everything. And now, yeah, we've at least moved down to here, but yeah.
It's crazy how like time flies, eh? Like so much happens in like a little bit of time, you know?
Bro, so much. We've gone through COVID, couple years of that. We've gone through all kinds of stuff. I can't wait to hear about things that's been going on with you, with music and everything.
Yeah, COVID feels like a fever dream, straight up. Like
it does.
Like I honestly like it feels like it was like 2019 and then 2023.
Basically.
You know what I mean?
Basically, no doubt. So, Revive the Rose is, what kind of music would we say Revive the Rose is? Because, okay, even before that, like you do music with Revive the Rose and music on your own too.
Yeah, I do a bunch of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. And actually recently what I've done within the year now, I finally have like triaged different aliases for myself now. So Revive the Rose, obviously, that's the boys, you know, and I.
Yeah.
So anything I write with the guys, or like anything, even if I did write something and it makes it to the band, like it goes there.
Yeah.
Then I have Andy Colonico, which back actually in 2016, I did try doing a solo project just called Colonico, but then I didn't really know where I was going at with it.
Right.
But now I realize, okay, this is a good opportunity to put my songwriter / country stuff under that. So now I've made Andy Colonico that kind of route. Anything solo is more of like intimate, like just a chill vibe or country vibe, you know? And then I made this other one, which was kind of, I kind of pushed it a bit last year when there was a bit of dead air with Revive the Rose. We were just kind of getting our ducks back in a row.
Yeah.
And that one's called Doobie. And that one is like a little rabbit hole I made for like my pop music that I make, or anything like metal or like pop punk.
Yeah.
So now there's no excuse why I'm not putting music out. It's ready to go. It's all got, their branding is figured out. Everything's ready. So.
Yeah. You're a whole mix of flavors that you put out.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So Revive the Rose is what kind of music?
Revive the Rose is more like just straight up rock and roll, or kind of punk rock kind of vibe.
And you guys have a bunch of originals. You guys do covers too?
We do them live sometimes. Like we'll throw a few in the set.
Yeah.
We've only released one cover on Spotify, and that was like this 80s pop tune.
Yeah.
Even that 80s pop tune was a cover of a cover. But that was it was this pop group called Naked Eyes, and they have this really popular song called Always Something There to Remind Me. So we covered that. We kind of put like this like Foo Fighters kind of style twist on it.
Nice.
But that's the only one that's like publicly available. But yeah, we've we played a few private weddings and stuff, and private parties. You know, we'll pull out the Biscuit sometimes, you know, or the Green Day. So
or Joe Gonzalez Top Fan event at tailgates.
That's
that we've
right.
done. Yeah.
That was a fun time, man.
It was, bro.
It was rowdy.
You guys are super talented. Like I always, anytime I listen to your music, I'm like, wow, like Andy's coming out of Welland with this skills, bro. Like you got skills.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I like the variety too, because like myself, like my music flavor is like old school hip hop rap is like what I grew up on. But I have an appreciation for all music, and like Robin's into country too, so that's pretty cool that you're. How long have you been doing some of the country?
Well, I'm not sure when this is airing at all, but in about 2 days from today, I'm putting out my very first country single.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, that's so sick. Is it? So this will be out after that happens. So if anybody's listening now, where would they be able to listen to that?
Yeah. So yeah, Andy Colonico is going live, just my name, on all streaming platforms, and the single's called Wild Card Girl. And
Wild Card Girl.
I wrote it about February ago, and then I hit the studio and recorded just 2 singles back in April. So yeah, man.
So what's the song about?
Wildcard Girl? Yeah, I was seeing somebody at the time.
Yeah. Role player.
Yeah. Well, I had gotten out of a relationship like last summer,
Right.
about a year ago now, and
Yeah.
then I finally like I was just kind of partying for the up until January. Then I went sober,
Yeah.
and then I finally started kind of talking to somebody around that time, and yeah, I was just going back into the dating scene sober this time was like super different. You know, I found I wasn't dealing with very like well-indy situations, you know?
Right.
And I was just really mind blown by like how cool this chick was. It didn't work out, but like we're still like good pals.
Nice.
But yeah, she's super cool. And yeah, I was just like at the time, I was just like my brain couldn't function how cool this chick was. So, and like she's chill, but then she's also like, you know, she'll have a good time, you know? So
I like it.
I was inspired to write the song.
See, like I want to ask you actually a little bit about that because we're both in, like I'm in real estate and make a lot of content. You make a lot of content, but the content we make is different. But it's content creation, right? Like I make a lot of pizza videos, a little bit of podcasting now too, and then real estate videos. But the content you make is like songs, and like I have no idea what it's like. Very seldom do I have a script for anything. Like this is, we didn't even talk about what we're going to talk about in here or anything. Like I do a lot of off the cuff type stuff, but music is. There's a lot of thought put into it.
Totally. Yeah, and you have to make a game plan for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so like I find that interesting, and I've thought about it before with you or like any artist, what that's like. Like you just mentioned, a song was inspired by a girl, and it's you're when I haven't heard the song yet. Obviously, you haven't put it out, but I find it interesting when doing something like that because when you make content, first of all, you're putting yourself out there, right? Like as we know, not everybody's able to make content and be in the limelight because there's always going to be there's people have insecurities.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Even me sometimes still, I'm like, man, like, should I have posted that? Or like, you know, or I won't post it because I'm like, I don't know if I should post that, you know?
Right. There's that. And then like, I think about like what you just said, you wrote a song about a girl. I don't even know yet exactly. But then like, if you're not with the girl and you put it out there and like, that's just because you're putting like really personal stuff. Like me, the stuff that I put out is not like personal like that. I've never put out anything about like my relationship with Robin, although I put her in stories all the time. But I find that pretty interesting, like how that would even work with coming up with stuff like that. And like when you're writing the song, I'm sure you're thinking about that. Like, what if this relationship doesn't work out like it didn't? Or
yeah, that specific topic is crazy, man. Like honestly, I'm just so in the moment of a guy, though, you know, and I appreciate any mistakes, even if it's not a mistake, you know, if it doesn't work out, you know, at least like that's how I was genuinely feeling at that time, you know, and I'm very like to myself a lot when it comes to like venting or anything like that, or like just like, you know, I never like spill my tea a whole lot, you know what I mean? But like I find through song, that's like the one time I can like magically put something together, and it's super raw. That's what I like about it, right?
Yeah.
And it's just real stuff. Like at one point I felt that, you know, and maybe someone else is feeling that, you know, once they hear it, you know. And
yeah, totally.
I don't know. It
resonates with people. Yeah, I know. See, that's what I find really interesting about stuff like that because, yeah, it's definitely there's vulnerabilities with it, and like, yeah, I just find it super interesting.
Totally, man. I'm not always open to like talking about it right away. Like sometimes, like,
of course.
But now, you know, I've had time to digest the whole situationship that was there. But now I'm like, oh, it's just a cool story, you know?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I think it's cool. Someone was that cool, and I just had to write about it. I had no other way to describe it.
So, with other artists, how do you think they handle stuff like that? Because with like relationships and like it. I can't imagine what that's like putting out a piece of content like that where you're putting out there, whether it's a good thing in a relationship or a bad or a breakup or whatever. That's like, I don't know. What's your perspective on that one?
Yeah, like I've definitely like even in I guess like I don't want to say like public figure-y standpoint, I guess. You know, like I hate calling myself that, but like I guess I'm trying to
You're
brand myself, right?
Yeah.
I do. Definitely within the last year compared to my last relationship, let's say, I've learned that I really do value kind of more privacy in certain
Right.
things. Like I'm not always posting, like my girlfriend now or whatever like that, But
Yeah.
like the people that matter, like they know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I kind of roll it out as I go. But like, yeah, for the song stuff, I mean, it's no one really knows until they ask me. But until then, like they just have a good song to kind of listen to.
Yeah.
Like
Interesting.
it's not like just a really real song to digest.
Interesting. Because country music definitely focuses on more stuff along those lines, like relationships.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I've kind of made it my goal with country to kind of like, I don't want to like, follow the strict guideline of all this new country stuff coming out. Like I want to be super me when I'm writing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really standing out in country music right now is just like being more real with it versus like, I'm not going to talk about like this truck I don't own and stuff like that, but like,
No doubt.
yeah, I don't know. So I just,
For songwriting, aside from relationships or whatever, how does that actual process look like? Where does inspiration come from for whatever songs? And like, do you ever like, you're in bed and get an idea, or do you sit down and you're like, now I want to write a song, or how does that?
dude, it goes like a bunch of ways, man. And sometimes I'm like, it can be many ways. Like sometimes if I have like a riff, let's say, the riff obviously has a certain vibe to it, right? Like, it either sounds really like upbeat or like, it sounds more like emotional or something like that. So I don't really start channeling certain words until I hear a riff sometimes, like in this case, this country tune coming out, Wildcard Girl, it's kind of like a rowdier riff, but like it's also super chill at the same time when you hear it. So
Interesting.
it kind of like when I was just playing around with melodies and stuff, that's just kind of like the words that ended up coming out was like how I was feeling at that time, Or sometimes I'll just have a melody pop in my head, then I have to figure out the rest around that melody,
Interesting.
And that might transform in the process, but like sometimes that just like pops in my head or like, yeah, it can be different ways, man. It's crazy.
So when you write a song, does it tend to like come together like in one pull, or does it sometimes you like come up with a chorus and then you go back to it? Like I've never done anything like that, so I have no idea.
Oh, dude. Yeah, sometimes I've written songs, even like some of this Revive the Rose stuff coming out that we just recorded like 2 weekends ago. The one single that we're gonna come out with next, I think, that one was written in like an hour, like the whole thing. I figured it out. I'm like, that's the song.
Really?
But then there's another one that we just did with the band, and for the longest time, that was like 2 separate ideas, I had one idea, but I never finished it. And then another idea came to my head. I realized, oh, that's in the same key. I'm like, oh, that fits nice with this. And then like,
Nice.
I was able to complete the lyrics because I fused these songs together. And then that's what it was. So a lot of the times I dissect 2 ideas and put them together, or like I'll just poop it out in one go. Like that's the song, or like give it like 2 business days and it's done.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, man.
When you put together a song, and you've compiled it, do you show it to somebody to be like, what do you think? Or like, how do you decide when it's ready for rock and roll?
Yeah, well, a lot of like, yeah, Pete, my bandmate,
Yeah.
me and him, we share demos all the time.
Nice.
Like if we're really stoked, we'll just like fire away the Google Drive link,
Nice. Gotcha.
Sometimes though, like I'll just, and we all share a band Google Drive.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just like leave my demos in there and I just kind of, if I recorded something all by myself,
Yeah.
sometimes my bandmates, they'll go through it and they'll just listen to see what's in there. And then sometimes like Matt or someone will be like, yo, who did, like, this is sick. Like why, like we should jam this, I'm like,
Nice.
oh really? Okay, cool. Cause I don't know if they'll like it or not. You know what I mean? Or sometimes, yeah, I'll just send my friends this. I'm like, what do you think of this tune? And they're like, yeah, it's sick, dude. So
Sick. So then, like taking it a little bit more, you've written a song, you've written the lyrics. Like I'm zero musical talent. I don't know if you remember. I'm sure I told you that last time you're on. So once you have that and you have a little bit of, you said the riff, I'm guessing that's kind of like the beat, I'm guessing. So
yeah,
then,
like the melody or like, yeah.
So then how does it get put together from there? You've got these things, then what's the next?
You just kind of figure it out, man. Like if it just sounds good, it just sounds good, or like, yeah.
Then how do you decide like, okay, I want to have a guitar or I want to have drums or like, I don't.
Yeah, sometimes like, and a lot of times, what's called a demo, like just like
Okay.
before you go to the studio and do the final song recording,
yeah.
you make demos, right? So you can kind of like keep listening to it and see like on fresh ears what sounds better. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when I write the song in like an hour, like I just kind of go off the natural, like what I think should be here. But sometimes if I crank it a few times, I'll just be like, oh, maybe I should just cut this part shorter and go to this part, or like maybe it should like, maybe it should do this instead, So it just really depends. Like,
Right.
I just really go off the natural vibe though, man.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
So some of your inspirations for where you come up with everything. What are some of the bands that?
Yeah. Oh, inspos. Definitely Green Day is a big one.
Solid.
And what's cool about those guys is like there's only the three of them, but they're all like super specifically like talented in their instrument, and they think of all these clever parts, but they're so simple and locked in. I love that, And then like the lyrics are witty. I really like that about Green Day. They're kind of fun, And that's kind of how I implement a lot of that through my lyric writing. Like I don't like to write head on about the subject. I like to kind of like play around with the idea. Like our song, we have a song called World's Smallest Violin. And that one I wrote about like just kind of like how savage some girls I went to high school were with after high school. They kind of like thought they were the shit, and then they kind of were like, I'm not the shit, and I got my ego got to me, and now I'm like desperate. And then they kind of target like vulnerable dudes, I feel, Like I wrote about that, but I wrote it in like a funny way,
Yeah.
Like, but I never just go like, what a dick or what a bitch,
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if I could swear on this.
Bro, you can say whatever you want. You let it all go.
Or then I like the Foo Fighters. They're another big inspiration. I just love, I don't know, the Foos are just awesome, man. I just love the emotion in it, and just like the simplicity.
Nice.
I'm big on simplicity because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm a simple guy,
Nice.
You'll never find me writing a song like Rush did or something like that. Like I love Rush, but like I don't write that way,
What's their style? I'm so not cultured.
They're very proggy. Like they're very like technical, I feel, and very like they'll make you feel like you're in like a forest at one point, and then like you're going to war, and then all of a sudden it just kicks into like a casual groove or something. Like they're nuts. They're like wizards.
Gotcha.
I'm not. I'm just like meat and potatoes. Like
Yeah.
sing about my life and
Yeah.
kind of put some humor on it. That's it. So
Green Day, are they still putting out stuff?
oh yeah, they're active, man.
They're still going. See, I'm so out of touch. I know they've been around a long time. I remember them when I was growing up.
Yeah, actually, Dookie, their first album, it's their 30th anniversary this year. So
No
they're rolling
way.
out all these like outtakes and like merch and stuff. So I'm all over that, man.
No way.
Yeah.
Nice. And Foo Fighters, they're still rocking?
Oh yeah, their drummer died I think last year now.
Oh, no.
But they got a new guy, and they're back on the road.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Nice. Anybody else? Any other?
Yeah, lately with country, I guess, because I like Zach Brown Band a lot. I like how he's kind of rock country, but like and he's very focused on like the vocal harmonies and stuff. It's just very like up north vibe. I love
Nice,
it.
nice.
And just like vocally, he's just really good.
Somebody like I'm so bad with this type of stuff because my day to day, Andy, like I grind in real estate, right?
100%, man.
Real estate, pizza, and like I have like this bubble that I live in, and that I don't really know a lot going on outside of that. Like I focus on like the economy and stuff like that. But as far as that type of stuff, but somebody I just reached out to, his people, that local guy that's pretty good, Tim Hicks.
Tim Hicks.
Yeah, but I'm not even too familiar with his music, to be honest. I know like Robin listens to it, and I know people that listen to it, but
Yeah, Tim Hicks blew right up, man. That guy's from St. Catharines.
St. Kitts, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope to play with him one day. That's a goal for sure.
Yeah?
I think we'd be really good on a bill together. That guy was a rock guy originally too, from what I heard. So
I don't know much. I know that he's from Kitts. I know some people that have met him and whatever. Like he's living in St. Catharines.
yeah, he's here, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's pretty sweet. But I'm not. Yeah, I don't know his music that well, but maybe I should listen to it a little bit more before I try and get him on here too. Sometime.
Oh, dude, I was brand new to Tim Hicks until maybe like a year ago. Like I only heard of like a few songs, but again, country's a new territory for me too.
Yeah.
And also touching on the topic of the bubble,
Yeah.
dude, me too. But just music, like like
Yeah.
that's just like. I couldn't tell you about stocks and stuff like that. Like my brother's all over that. I'm like, I don't know where to look. Like, he'll like, check my app every day. It's like I just don't. I'm more like, oh, what do I got to do today? Like for music.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of the world I was born into. Like so I've just been like or even my girlfriend. She's a big movie nut.
Nice.
I couldn't tell you anything about movies, man. I'm the worst. Like,
Yeah.
She's like, oh, all you know is like cartoons and stuff. I'm like, man, it's just like, I don't know, that's my thing.
I know everybody finds their paths during or down different paths and figure out what they get into and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love watching movies too, but now I don't get much of that. But
yeah, man. Yeah, I'm like a lot of classic. I haven't seen Forrest Gump. Like, I got a lot of flack for that.
you haven't seen Forrest Gump?
No.
Wow.
I haven't seen. What was I watched this other one called what was it called? I forget. I just rewatched Stuart Little though. Like even just like some classics. I'm just trying to.
So life's like a box of chocolates. That's from Forrest Gump, but you haven't seen
Is that what that's? See, yeah.
That's from that movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You never know what you're gonna get. You open up.
Monty Python. I just watched that last night.
Right.
The medieval one they did. I never watched a Monty Python in my life though.
I don't think I have either, so that's not too bad.
Oh, no way. Okay, see? Yeah. So there's a lot about I was thinking about that. Like, man, I'm just so like in this bubble. Like, I don't know if that's good or not, but like, keeps me hyper focused.
Yeah, I think there's probably more pros to it than cons. I mean, that's just you live your life and focus on what you're doing and everything.
Yeah, so. Right. Eye on the prize, right?
Yeah. We're just grinding out, trying to make a go at this, and if you don't focus on anything, then what's gonna happen?
That's right. Yeah.
What's the shirt? What shirt did you decide to pick to wear today?
Well, I was gonna wear my gray Joe Gonzalez shirt, but I was so concerned about the humidity today. I'm like, I'm gonna sweat. Like, what if I have sweat under my boob? Like, so I threw on a black tee. It's one of my favorite bands. They're called the Dirty Nil.
Yeah.
They're from Dundas, Ontario.
Oh, no way.
And I respect those guys. They've been grinding out for like over a decade.
Yeah.
And they finally got their break maybe like 2018 ago.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing them in high school.
What does that mean? I don't, because we talked about that last time. Let's not forget that. But I remember asking you last time when you came on how I find the music industry interesting about it, how there's some people that are super talented that don't quote unquote make it, whatever you want to call that being. And like I remember we talked about it, and I almost wanted to rewatch our podcast to see like how that is and like how people go from making music and doing it casually to trying to do it professionally and like all that process.
Yeah.
So when you say that, what's the break? What's that mean?
Well, there's some bands like Revive the Rose is one of those bands. And Dirty Nil is one of those bands. We just have to do a lot of stuff to finally get put on like a radar of sorts. Like we just have to like bust our asses off. And they were one of those bands. They were independent for like a decade, like over a decade, and finally they inked up with in quotations independent label from Toronto. I think they're like an umbrella of a major label, but for the most part, they are independent. But they're called Dynalone Records. They finally signed Dirty Nil a couple of years ago, and they obviously have tools to get them heard more, right? Like all those Spotify playlists and like radio. Like Dynalone Records has like a radio team built in. Like they got people hustling all the things, and they have access to all these things. Because this label is associated with like Universal and just from overall being a label for a long time, right? Versus as an independent band, like you don't get access to that stuff unless
distribution.
Unless you're like those lucky guys that blow up from like a TikTok video, then they come swarming at you,
right? And
then you have every option in the world, and you can even start declining stuff if you really feel like it,
right?
But yeah, so they were just one of those bands that finally a label came on board and started, putting focus in certain departments, and now there's more ears and eyes on the band, getting thrown the right shows and stuff because the label helped them out and they hooked them up with a booking agent, all that stuff, So they're making it.
Yeah,
and now they're making a name.
I like it. So that's part of it. So label helps with distribution for sure.
Yeah, the label they signed with though, they're kind of a different label. They have a lot of stuff all in house. So they do distribution. They'll chart your song. Or they'll bring your song to radio and try to chart it. I think they have like a booking agency partnership. So like any new artists that come on
Interesting.
board, they'll sign with like a booking agent. I think they're partnered with Pac-An artist agents. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're kind of like you sign with us, we got you covered, like in all the aspects. So
that helps. Like I'm just trying to process it. That's distribution, and what comes with that is you get in front of way more people. But definitely that means you're giving up a piece of the pie. But your pie gets bigger, right? Because like a label doesn't do it for free.
no, definitely not.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think in this case, like they'll fund it, and then once the costs are like recouped or something like that, and then I think the way this label works, they kind of do a 50-50 split after that, which honestly, that's pretty fair if they funded your whole record and merch, all that stuff, you know?
I can only I can only imagine the different types of splits and deals and everything with all labels, because I've heard different things of like good deals happening for people and bad deals, right?
Yeah.
There was a comedian recently. I don't know if it was Dave Chappelle or something. Somebody was talking about how they didn't like a deal that they had done at some point. That I don't need to bring up a specific.
I think that
name.
was Dave Chappelle, actually.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he had like a special or something like that. Yeah.
So like, I know nothing about the music business at all, but yeah, it's interesting to hear how that works. And
everything's so different. Like every label does things differently or has different options. But yeah, this specific label, I think, like they're one of the more chill labels, and they're very about the artist, and that's cool, you know. So they got in good hands, is what I'm saying.
You have a label too, or
I have a company called Snare Guy Records.
Yeah.
Originally in 2019, I finally like properly launched it. I always like teased it like in high school. I'm like, oh, I'll start this label called Snare Guy Records, and I'll focus on artists I like and stuff like that. But when Revive the Rose was really buzzing in 2019 for the first time, I'm like, this is a great opportunity. And no label wanted to put out our first album. So I'm like, you know what? I'll start with this. And like we were getting all these big shows like independently. Like it was like we caught a really good break that year. Like we were just getting offered everything.
Nice.
And I don't know, it just all kind of fell into place. I think Bar Down had a big thing to do with that. Right off the hop.
Yeah.
And just overall our hustle. Like we revamped our marketing, everything. Like we were everywhere, like online or like in your face all the time, you know? We had great friends to support us too, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna put this out through this. And from the trajectory that I was seeing, or trajectory, I don't know the term.
Trajectory. Yeah.
Like 2020 was gonna be nuts, you know? And so I was like, well, with everything I am doing through my band, I'll sponge it into Snare Guy and I'll help other artists out, because a lot of people weren't thinking like how we were, like how to put the pieces together. There's a lot of talented guys out there, but a lot of people just don't know where to start, right?
Navigate the waters.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then I also knew I wanted to do events and stuff and artist management. So Snare Guy Records is kind of like this events and artist consulting / management company. More than a record label. I feel though if 2020 didn't happen, it would have been a lot more focused on the record label side of things. But obviously COVID went down.
Yeah.
But because of that, I put more focus into it as a management side of things to at least, you know, work on artist brands and stuff, how to figure out your brand with people I liked. At the time I signed a rapper, Conan Doyle. And then I signed a blues artist, Gravely James.
They both with you still?
Yeah, they're still with me today. Yeah.
Nice.
So we spent a lot of their early years during COVID just figuring out, like, you know, how are we going to brand what you got coming out, or like, you know, and we're going to game plan with what assets we have available during COVID and stuff. And then by the time when the pandemic ends, we'll be ready to go properly, professionally ready for all these live shows that I can probably get you on, you know,
right,
through my networks. So that's kind of what it's turned into. And then also here and there during COVID, I'd throw an event, you know, I'm always trying to create opportunities, right?
Yeah, totally. And, you're great that way.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
So I kept the name Snare Guy Records, but really lately it's been just focused on the Revive the Rose catalog, distribution wise. but then mostly management and consulting and events at the moment. But yeah, I'm kind of going with the flow of everything right now, just because COVID was weird, man.
Totally.
It was a weird nuke.
Even before any COVID talk, I'm dying to ask you. You're talking all about this now, and I'm thinking about artists that are getting started, that are talented, and they're trying to figure out the waters. What kind of advice would you give to somebody that's looking to make a go of it? Like,
I would first of all, the first thing I would do is if you're gonna record music and put it out for the first time, don't like. It's good to invest in that immediately. Like, you know, we were lucky as Revive the Rose. Like, we were really tight musicians, and I've been marinating in a band since high school, right? So when I finally started Revive, I kind of knew a bit of songwriting, you know, but and we happened to make a really great EP for very cheap, but like because we were like tight knit, you know, we kind of got away with it. But you know, I would spend the extra money to work with like maybe a producer or like a good studio to at least kind of craft your songs and at least like make a good first impression, you know? It's all about, obviously, maybe you could put a couple demos out maybe, but if you're going to go for the first release, I say put a lot of focus into that and just really figuring out who you are and what your mission is right off the bat. Which Revive, we really didn't know what we were doing. We were just a bunch of idiots having fun, you know? Like, I'm lucky that like we've even done what we've done because we've just been a giant crash test dummy all these years. Like, you know what I mean? So,
but
like,
don't you think that's what a lot of bands are like anyway?
yeah, but you can save a lot of time though if you kind of think about it for a bit.
Hone in the beginning. So when you say get a producer and do that, like how much might that cost somebody, or like?
It depends the size of the producer, but
For
like
sure.
you know, at the end of the day, if you really hustle, you can get to some people, you know. But you know, I would even start with as an artist, like look at CDs or something like that. Look at album credits, who did what, you know. And that's kind of what I started doing a bit later on with Revive. Like I'm like, who did this City and Color album? Oh, Catherine North Studios. Okay, I like that. I really want to work there, you know. So shot them an email, or I'm like, oh, who mixed it, or who produced certain stuff, like,
Right.
and then you see the names. We're all listed on the albums. You can just look; it's all there, and everything's a phone call or email away, right? So, just depends what you're looking for, man. But like, if you want your song to sound like a certain album or something like that, like,
Yeah.
you know, you like the tones of like a certain album, yeah, go for it. Those are the guys that made it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. So look into those avenues. Interesting.
yeah. But Revive's been really lucky, which has been a big motivator for me with Snare Guide to really help artists out because I literally had like really nobody.
Yeah.
So I had a marketing teacher in college that kind of like put it all together for me and like taught me about first impressions and like making a marketing game plan. So I ended up making like these branding booklets and stuff. Like I really started honing in. He kind of told me what he thought Revive the Rose was from an outsider view, and it answered a lot of questions I had about everything because people were telling me, "Oh, you got to look like a rock band, like you got to wear like a leather jacket and all this stuff." I'm like, man, like when I look at us trying to do this, it's just not us.
It's
you know?
not you. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I ended up just branding really our friendship.
Yeah.
That's just what it came down. It's kind of hard to explain that, but I just kind of figured it out.
No, I like it, bro. I like that.
Yeah, but that's taught me to kind of have an eye for brands, like just like and yeah. So that's just kind of what I think, you know.
No, bro, I love it. I think it's interesting. I'm still trying to piece it together since I'm not an artist at all. Like you gave me a good answer. I think probably for a musician to know, but somebody that's trying to get it going. Try to find a producer, look at people that's made music that they like in their area to try and see some people that they can reach out to.
Yeah, even like, you know, there's a lot of talent around here. Even like I was lucky enough to have Ryan Guay from Street Pharmacy really help us out. Like when we decided to really invest in like doing a good recording, you know, we weren't happy with the one EP we put out before our first full length. We felt we needed like a better ear on it, and Ryan's always been a great songwriter, so I reached out to him. We were great friends, and he's like, "Yeah, I'd be honored to help produce you guys. So we
Oh,
were
that's
lucky to
sweet.
have him on board, man. So
That's sweet.
yeah,
Because there is studios around even Niagara, right? I'm thinking more anywhere, but there are studios in Niagara too.
yeah, and you can record at like local studios, but I really recommend like reaching out to like a producer or like another musician that's like maybe a couple steps ahead of you in the
Right.
game,
Right.
and then having them on board to look at your songs, help out with co-writing even.
Interesting.
Because if you really like I said, we were lucky that our first record was kind of tight. Like, although we recorded for $600, we were lucky that we were really well crafted musicians. I found we all had a sense of songwriting, you know. But obviously, there was room for improvement, obviously. But we definitely made a good first impression. But some people, you know, they might not be as strong right off the hop.
Yeah.
And so if I had known I had that access like years ago, I would have done it right away. But you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I don't regret anything either. So yeah.
Do you think that, like, I have no idea what the music world is like. Do you think that musicians out there everywhere, if somebody reached out to them that was like getting started and they were a little bit ahead, do you think that more musicians would be willing to help them, or do you think they would fluff them off? I'm sure it's a mix of everything, but is it?
Well, I mean, I think you know, a lot of good humble artists will always be down, especially obviously there's a price to pay
Yeah.
too, right? But
Yeah.
you know, yeah, as a musician in general, there's so many avenues you can make an income off of. So for the most part, if they're not too busy, they're definitely more than happy to help. And
Yeah.
most musicians are good vibes. At least we've been lucky. We've met a lot of people we looked up to were awesome. So we were lucky in that regard. Like working with John Angus from the Trues. Like
I know. I was just gonna say the Trues. The Trues is a name that, like me being in my bubble, that I've definitely heard of. That I know that you guys have played with, and
yeah,
like you've done work with them, right?
yeah. It started with the guitar player, and then you know we just kind of got to know the whole band after a while. But
They're Canadian.
yeah, they're originally from Antagonish, Nova Scotia.
Oh, cool.
And then they moved to Niagara Falls, and then years ago they won the 97.7 contest, the Rock Search contest. That's what their big break was, because then they got their song on the radio, and then it charted, and then you know the rest is history.
It's so interesting, different things that could cause different breaks, eh? Because like one buddy of mine that I went to high school with, DJ Shub, he does Indigenous, like he's a DJ, and like he's won a couple of Juno Awards, which
Oh,
is
that's
pretty,
sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And I know, like, I've talked to him. I think when he won the first one, we weren't talking as much because after high school and everything. But when he won the second one, we had been talking more. And
Oh,
like,
sweet.
and I'm like, bro, that's so sick, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, that must give, that extra recognition must be good. And he's like, oh yeah, I don't know, like we didn't talk exactly, but when these are some of the moments that can help change the trajectory of a career for sure.
Oh, every aspect. And Juno's a big deal, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
totally.
the moment you slap like Juno anything, nominee even if you don't win the Juno, even if you're a runner-up, that looks amazing, you know? So people know you're definitely good stuff that, you know.
Yeah, there's no messing around
And
with
in his stance, he's a producer, you said, or a DJ?
DJ.
Yeah. Yeah, either way, no matter what way you look at it, even if you're a producer that wins a Juno, like now people want to record with you because like, yeah, well, it clearly worked because I won a Juno. So it's like, yeah.
What category would you be in for your Juno?
Oh, there's so many, man. Like we'd be like, oh, rock group of the year, or like up and coming band of the year, or so, whatever. I forget what all the titles
not
are.
one of those yet. Not yet.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of it really like I said, you kind of need the right team to even. Like you can always apply for it, but to even really be considered, especially in like the active rock market, which is what we would be in, like there's so much competition. There's so many like people touring more or selling more albums more because you know they're just that couple steps ahead of us.
Yeah.
More consistency, right?
Yeah.
They have a better chance of getting nominated, right? But
Yeah.
a lot of like there's a lot of sub markets that like are way easier, like you know, like a lot of like the I don't know, like the religion albums or something like that, or like even like there's a lot of niche markets that like are a little more accessible for an independent artist, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that we talked about before and that I think is great to talk about is the song with the Leafs. And
Yeah.
When did that happen? And like NHL PA, right? NHL PA?
Oh, yeah, EA Sports.
Yeah. Like these are super cool things that happen to you guys. That is amazing.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. The song Bar Down, it's still crazy. That thing is still like that was a 2018 single. That was our second single as a band when we finally got our ducks in a row for this full-length album we just recorded with Mr. Ryan Guay.
Nice.
We were finally like, hey, we'll put out a song every month. We had a marketing plan for every song, a music video for every song. Like,
Wow.
We were like, we're gonna do this. But I remember there was Bar Down specifically though was designed in the sense where I was like, how do we like break the local, like how do we become more than just like, oh, this Welland band? You know, like how do we just break that circle just a little bit? Like how do we one up that a little bit?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I thought about Niagara. I'm like, well, clearly our strongest fan base is here in Niagara, obviously. We're a rock band. A lot of our fans love hockey. A lot of our fans love beer. Like we have a literal hockey team in the OHL league. I'm like, why don't we write them a song? Like, what is stopping us from at least with the idea? So when I had networked with the Ice Dogs, I ran into them at the Penn Center and I said, hey, I need to talk to your boss. And he's like, sure. And they gave me a business card. They were running like their little merch booth around Boxing Day, I think it was.
Yeah.
So I just like coldly reached out to them. I just said, hey, like, we'll write you a song where this band. And at the time, what I was using for leverage was we got lucky that 97.7 started spinning our song 9 to 5 at the time on the radio.
Let's go.
So going into this network, I was like, yeah, we've been on the radio. Like, 97.7 plays us. And they sponsored the Ice Dogs at the time. I was like, so...
Nice.
Like, we're in this
angling.
circle. Yeah. Like we're reputable. Like we'd love to write you a song. And they're like, yeah, we're always doing the same old around here. Why not? So we didn't know it. They didn't know what that even sounded like yet.
Right.
I didn't give them anything until like 2 weeks before like our first single came out. Or no, 2 weeks before 2 months before hockey season. They never heard the song. And then they loved it immediately. And they said, yeah, you can use our dressing room to record the music video. Yeah, my cousin filmed that, Mike Krosny.
Nice.
He worked for, what are they called? 401, I don't know, the film company that films all the Ice Dog games.
Nice.
Foregrounds, that's it. Anyway, so when that song came out in the Ice Dogs world, like they're playing that at every game, and that place holds like a couple thousand, right?
That's so awesome.
They're playing our music video, and obviously that's a big deal around here, right? Like, man, that's cool. You're the Ice Dog song. But then I finally, just one thing led to another. The Leafs DJ got a hold of the song, and after I emailed, and I told him what's going on. I'm like, this is what's going on. And he's like, cool. He's like, I'll play this at the one game. Look up for like the second puck drop. I'm like, cool. So we didn't know if he was serious, but we all gathered at Matt's house, a couple OVs at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, like sure shit, man. Like there it was in the ACC.
That is so sick.
And then
what was that like?
Insane. It was like, dude, there are 25,000 people listening to our song right now. Like that's crazy.
Bro, that is wild.
And
I just got goosebumps just thinking about it.
yeah. And it didn't stop there. He kept playing it after that because he liked it. But what he didn't tell us was that he was going to make it a warm-up song for the Leafs. And I only found that out because Spotify, they have this back-end version of Spotify called Spotify for Artists. So we're able to view like our stats every day, like, how many streams did we get, what playlists added our songs, like all that stuff. Suddenly Bar Down's getting all these plays, and like it just gone up a lot. I'm like, so I happened to gander like the playlist section of like from the last month. And I saw this playlist all in capital letters, Toronto Maple Leafs warm-up playlist. And I'm like, no way. And so I clicked on it, and it was made by the DJ. Like I saw it was like by Cale Granton. I'm like, what? And so there's only 11 songs on these things. Deadmau5, another Niagara native, was on there. So, double Niagara on this playlist.
So sick.
So I shot him a message. I'm like, dude, like, is this for real? And he's like, yeah. He's like, this is a great song, man. I'm like, oh, you could have told me. Like, and so immediately, like, I'm like, I got to capitalize on this. So I reached out to the paper, and I got them to do an article on it to make it like official. And then I used that and mind you, sorry, backtrack like 0.5 steps real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
At the same time, I was trying to manifest the video game. So at this time, we had launched a clickbait video with our music video and said, get bar down in NHL 20 at the time. And we had all our fans tag EA Sports in it. And
Yeah.
finally, my cousin told me the producer's name. And finally, I was able to clickbait them enough where they shot us an email finally.
Yeah.
Or they gave us an email address. And I pitched it to him with no Leafs coverage. I said, hey, we got this hockey song in the OHL. And they're like, oh, that's cool, man. Like, let you know. And then I came back with the newspaper article and they said, hey, this is what's happening. The Leafs are using it now. And they're like, oh, no way. Congrats. That's so cool. And then like he
Nice.
CC'd like 6 other dudes from EA Sports in there. And then literally probably a year later, man, finally, after a lot of following up, we got offered the soundtrack.
That's so sick.
Yeah. And
That's-
then because of that, we couldn't tour during COVID, which birthed Bar Down Lager. That was our way of promoting the single during a pandemic because,
Nice.
you know, alcohol's essential apparently. So
Nice. Now, you don't have to tell me actual numbers, but when the Leafs play your song, is that something that it just gives you exposure or do they pay you?
no, on the
And
back end, they'll pay. And it's
Oh,
actually probably
that's
the best pay I've ever got as a musician.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
the arena
amazing.
plays are sick.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah.
See, you don't have to get into numbers. I'm not needing to
I
get
couldn't
in.
even tell you numbers because it's so like, it's like the statements are always so different. Like it's always like, it's not like the same all the time, you know. But
How
like,
does it work without like you
they'll
say,
be
you
like,
don't
oh,
have
there's so many times it was played in December, you know, and like I don't know, they're just always different. Like
Okay, it depends on how many
tennis,
people are
we got
there.
played at the tennis game for some reason. That paid differently than the hockey game. Like I have no clue. You know what I mean?
So, so obviously, when they're playing other music, it's not like you would think like if I had a party here, I played some music that I should be paying somebody. When you're in that type of business, when you play somebody's music, they're not going to do it and not credit or pay an artist.
No, because we have it registered on this this database called SOCAN, and they make sure that you get paid. Or there's another one, the American one's called. What's the American one called? I forget, but there's an
Whatever.
American one too. Gotta make sure you register on that.
So once your band or the songs are registered
So
on there.
you put the song, you fill out the artist name, the length of the song, and then it gives you a section like it says like you put every bandmate or the producer, like whoever's involved
Yeah.
gets laid out, and
Interesting.
and it's all divided up into 100%, right? So
Interesting.
in this case, I think I'm entitled to, I think it was like 20% of Bar Down, you know, because and the way Revive the Rose does things, per recording project, we split it equally. Whoever's
Nice.
involved with that project at that time, it's equal royalties because
Nice.
obviously we've had moments where we lost bandmates and stuff. Now there's no argument though. Like it's like, okay, well, either way, whatever happens to this, you are equally a part of that, you know? I don't have to hear no bullshit down the road, you know?
I
Like-
can only imagine what stuff like that would be like. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
or, you know, like,
That seems like the fairest way to do it. Whoever's involved in the project.
yeah, and some people are too not about that, you know? But I think, I heard that from Big Wreck, actually. Big Wreck is like that, the band.
Yeah.
And they said that's how they do it.
It's
So.
not, to me, I don't know what other arrangements could be, but to me that makes sense.
Totally. If you're involved with that, unless like the only time it wouldn't differ is like for example, my country stuff. I'm the band right now. Like I wrote everything,
Yeah.
but if I needed someone to play something though on the record, I simply hired them
Yeah.
and they did the job. But
Yeah.
that's my song. I wrote that. It
Right.
wasn't like a collective work. So it's just me, and then the producer gets a small credit
Yeah.
as well because he helped me
Yeah.
figure it out too. So I gave him a little chunk, but like.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's my song.
Yeah.
But the band's a collective, right? So
And clearly your boys from Revive the Rose are cool when you do stuff on your own, doing your own thing.
oh yeah, we're very supportive with each other. Like no matter what it is. Even Pete, he's got some side stuff coming out actually.
Nice. Sweet.
But I'm always just like buzzing. Like I love putting stuff out. I love
You
content.
are buzzing's a
you
good
know?
word. Yeah.
So everyone's, you know, and Pete's like he's buzzing more now, but like
Nice.
he's learning how to do more, you know, like, and I'm always more than happy to help with that, you know, like I've told him what I think, like my humble opinion is of how he should put his solo single out
Yeah.
for like this one project, and then he wants to do some singer-songwriter stuff too. So I said, you know what I mean? Like he's been getting better, obviously, at the songwriting part. We all have, but I've just always I've studied marketing. That was my thing, right? So I'm always like, I pump stuff out a lot quicker, I feel, if it's solo, you know. But definitely, I'll be right there on board if any of the boys want to do stuff. You know, I'll help out. I'll be like, yep, no problem.
That's clutch. That's clutch. Yeah.
Not that I'm like a wizard or anything, but like I just do it.
Yeah,
you know?
you're giving her. You're giving her. You definitely, like you said, you're buzzing. You're making some happenings out there. Yeah. Back to the video game too. Same idea. With that, do you get paid when they put you on a video game?
Yeah. So there's different types of ways you can get paid. There's either the royalties, which is mainly popular in like television. Like every time they air a show, every time they air radio, like, or like a show or something like that on live air. So, you know, that's when your percentile comes into place.
Interesting.
Per royalty, per spin, you know? But in this case, like a movie, let's say, or a video game, movies can work both ways, actually, but video games specifically, you know, you can't track every time someone's going to, you know, play the video game, right?
Game, yeah.
It's not the same. So,
per copy
that's more.
sold?
That's what's called a sync deal. That's upfront. You get X amount up front, and then you divide that chunk however many ways you got to divide that.
Yeah.
So in this case, bar down, 6 people on board. You just divide that by whatever the percentile is of each of that big number, and that's it for bar down and EA Sports NHL 21.
Gotcha.
But a movie, let's say, they might offer you like an upfront sum, plus like every time it gets played on like a TV station or something like that, you know?
Interesting. In music, see, that's what I find interesting too, the different revenue streams that can happen from it. Because like I'll talk about mine a little bit. Like I make all of this content, and the only way I make money is when I sell houses.
Yeah.
Like here at Right Choice, like I do all the content because I'm helping to expand my brand, my exposure, and I like to do as much as I can, just like this podcast now, by creating synergies with other people. Like pizza reviews, to me, like I view it as a way that I get to highlight another business. I always just hope it's going to be good pizza, although it's not. But even if it's not, it's still an opportunity for that business to have some exposure, and there's ways that can make it good, even with a bad review. Right?
Oh, man. And it only helps you do what you got to do to make your living. You know, it stands you out from the rest of the herd.
Yeah.
And it just puts like more, I don't know, like if someone just only has a billboard up, I don't know. Can you help me? I don't know, but like you lay it out, like you got like tips of stuff, like you're about community, you know what I mean? Like I know that Joe Gonzalez is a sick dude that cares about people, you know what I mean? And loves to have a good time. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
What is it like? Yeah, let me ask you a couple questions about my stuff. What is it like looking from your bubble to mine whenever you do see my stuff? Like, because like you said, it definitely, I think I do stick out from the herd because there's not a lot of people in our area making as much content as I am, let alone realtors. But
yeah, well, for me, like it just, you know, I know you're a guy that obviously loves to like, have fun, and loves to be involved with the community, especially Waynefleet and or Niagara in general, you know. And I think that's really important too. And I don't know, man, you're just a straight shooter, and it's very respectable. You know what I mean? Like
Thank you.
Just kind of say how it is. There's no like. There's no catch or nothing, you know what I mean? And you're a good vibe, man. You only want what's best for people, and I think that's amazing, man.
Yeah,
you know?
I appreciate that.
And beyond that, even like you don't gotta go do the pizza review, but you know, like you're totally like a lot of these businesses don't even have content, man. You know what I mean? And like not only are you like putting face in the community, but like you're totally just helping this business out, you know? And it's like. I don't know. I think it's cool, man. I think it's really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you realized that too, because that is something that I've realized over doing time with content is that is what you said. Even if it's a bad review, a lot of these places are not putting out content.
No.
So it's an opportunity. Like I wish that some of these places, like, I don't know if you remember, it broke my heart when I did a burger review at the Blue Star in Welland and it was bad. and I gave him a bad score. But Johnny over there is such a smart guy. He turned it into such a good thing. Like, he's like, because I think they didn't have pickles or something.
Yeah.
And he like posted a picture like the next day. He's like, we got pickles, Joe, come back. And it was like, Johnny, like, you're awesome. Like, you didn't just like call me up and rip me a new one because I gave you a bad score. You took advantage of that. There's
How
a
can I
moment.
make it better?
Yeah. And like, that's awesome. I'm glad that you recognize that because like not everybody does.
Well, dude, if you, honestly, even like, I think it was Pete's Pizza you rated. That was your favorite in the Falls, I think.
Yeah.
Was that all Niagara or was that
Niagara Falls?
Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Like,
My favorite's the Lock and Pork Oberon, but go on.
Yes.
You know those
The
boys.
Lock is, I went there for my dad's birthday last weekend, actually.
I love it.
Yeah. Pete's Pizza, though, like you crowned that as the best. And I was working in the Falls at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to try it.
I
Like,
like
just like
it.
a simple thing like that.
I love it.
Went a long way for them. Like, I went.
Yeah.
You know?
I love it. Did you like it as much as I did?
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the owner. He's such a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was very friendly when I walked in.
Dino. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Dino Mancini. Yeah. Super nice guy. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's interesting hearing perspective of my stuff because I live in my bubble and like I've got my game plan and I'm executing it and I do everything. But it's interesting because I know that there's people out there that don't like what I'm doing. Like,
people hate what I'm doing too. Yeah.
Like you get haters, right? Like that's part of when you put yourself out there. And that's what I said earlier is that not everybody can do it because like that's going to happen. And I don't like get stuck on all the hate that I get because it's not more than the love. But like I can see how some people can really pull them down because it's not like when I get a hater comment that I'm like, woo, like I'm stoked about it. But like you just got to roll with it. It's going to happen. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I see. I've seen the way you reply to some people sometimes too, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's the way to handle it, though. You know.
I just roll with it. Yeah, I address it.
I guess to add on top of like everything I said about what I respect about what you do, on a standpoint for you, this kind of opens the eyes of people. You know, they're like, yeah, I definitely want this guy to find me a house or to help me sell my house or like even commercial real estate even, you know what I mean? Like that opens up a whole other field like for you, you know what I mean? Like there could be guys just crushing the resis, you know, but like, you know, you're going to all these businesses, man. That's bound to open a conversation of like commercial real estate even, you know? So it's like, it's great, but it's so chill. It's not in your face, or it's like people just go like, Joe's a good guy. He's gonna get it done. You know what I mean? That's it. That's what it is.
And the only thing I know how to do is be myself. And I don't know if I've ever told you, but I want to talk to you about it, how I got into it, because like I've never been a guy that likes to have the camera or the lights or the microphones. I've always been a social guy. I love people. Like I love doing this with you. I appreciate you're here.
Oh, no problem.
But I've never been somebody that likes to be in the spotlight. But what got me into it is being in real estate, selling people's houses. You've mentioned it a couple times, is marketing. The first thing that I got to execute when somebody hires me to sell their house is market the property. And it's 2023 now. Oh, one day it'll be nice when we watch this when we're older to laugh at the year. But in 2023, how do you sell anything except going to the internet? And you have to. And like even now, like I showed you where Chu works from here down in the office, having a videographer and putting together a sick video. And it's kind of like what you were saying before with distribution. It's like you can have a great piece of content about a house, but now when you post it, if you don't have an audience to watch it, how good is that if you can't get it in front of people?
Yeah.
So that's how, for me, like I got into creating content because the more people I can get as an audience, the better chance when I list the house that I have
more
somebody,
bites.
to see it and to sell that house. Because selling a house, sure, during COVID and the market being on fire was a lot easier, but you always benefit from more eyeballs on your house when you're trying to sell it.
Yeah. I think you help my friends. A couple of my friends find houses too, and they know you from the internet.
I love
it.
it.
You know what I mean? Like
I love it.
But yeah, even like you know, I think like if you're gonna put the big billboard up, you better do all the stuff you're doing too. Otherwise, I'm just gonna drive by and be like, I don't know, like what do you got? Like,
I'm not a fan of billboards.
No, but like if I saw you on a billboard, knowing all the stuff that I know from the internet and all the advertising. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joe's
that's
up.
Joe.
And see, like, yeah, you bring up a good point because when I see billboards, I think similar. Because when I see a big brand, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, let's stick with those two on a billboard. I'm like, okay, like they're an established brand as big as you can get. So when you're putting yourself on a billboard, that's part of their marketing plan. And it's not like that's the first time being seen by somebody. Because a billboard is a split-second piece of content where like a song, a pizza review, that's minutes of consumption of getting to know somebody versus like a split second. Me or you could put on a suit right now and go to take a picture, but how good of a representation is that? Or anything, or right? Like, yeah.
What was the one you had the one time? Like it just said burger. What was it?
Yeah, it was just, I think, burger review or something. Yeah, because with that one, yeah, like I don't want to, because there's people in my industry out there that do billboards, and maybe it works for them, but yeah, that was when Gigi Cole was working here, and he got committed to a billboard, and actually the billboard that I tried to submit, they wouldn't approve it.
Really?
Because like when he came here, he was in a billboard contract, and like I think I helped him out by absorbing it, or I don't remember the cost of it. And I wanted to have, this is the worst money I ever spent. And I had a picture of like money going down a drain and like me being like sad or something.
Oh my God.
But the billboard company wouldn't approve of it.
So you just made the best of it.
Yeah. So whatever we ended up doing there.
That was hilarious, man.
Yeah.
I think that was your yellow jacket days too.
Or
was that blue jacket?
No, that was very soon into the blue. But yeah, you remember the yellow.
What made you change from the jackets there?
Well,
I don't think I've ever asked you actually.
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, when I started, I was working at Century 21 in Fawn Hill. So when I started my own company, Right Choice, I changed over because Century 21 is about the yellow and black. So then my colors at Right Choice are blue and yellow, blue and orange. So I changed to the blue jacket, which I don't wear as often, but I still have a couple kicking around.
Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah. Bro, this is good stuff. I don't want to end yet. I don't know what else we can talk about right at the moment. We kind of switched gears starting to talk about me, and we pivoted off of your stuff.
Oh, dude, all good. No, I just, just content in general is just very important though, man. Like, and I think, I don't know, man. You just got to stand out though, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting to hear when from your, so clearly if you have friends that have seen me online and bought houses you're hearing more from your circles good than people being like, Joe's an idiot, because I definitely hear that from people. There's people that say like, you sell real estate. Why are you making pizza videos? And like all kinds of stuff like in around here, but you hear less of that. Although I'm sure maybe you hear some, but
no, man, it's all good stuff, man. And I just, I don't know, man. I think it's cool that you focus more on the casual side of it than like, it's always about business, and like, I think that's important. Even, with the way I brand things, I just want to brand good vibes, but at the end of the day, there's something there like I'm promoting, right? You know what I mean? But
yeah, totally.
I try to round it off though, man, just like.
So you mentioned the lager and COVID. So that was something we were starting to get into there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and that fits going into what we're talking about too. Like, at the end of the day, I'm trying to promote a song, but like, this adds a whole fun way of promoting a song. Like, it's, and obviously during a pandemic, a lot of people were drinking, including myself. And a lot of people just love to drink in general in our fan base. So, it was just something that we felt, we always want to make a BAM beer. And we're like, this is probably the best time to make a BAM beer, like right now, and it just goes with our brand so well, the Canadian vibe, all that. It's like hockey, Canada, rock and roll, all in one. Yeah. In one can.
Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah.
So the beer is made where?
Taft Brew House, Queen Street, Niagara Falls.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you guys, there's places outside of Taps that you can drink it.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've tried to shop it around right now, just because we've had other priorities at the moment now.
Yeah.
I know the beer's not going anywhere too, because it's now one of the best sellers at Taps.
Yeah.
So,
that's
which
awesome.
is funny. Thanks, man.
It is solid beer. It's solid.
Yeah.
Like you and OV, that's like my beers.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taps was very nice to because they weren't up to much during COVID. So and Eric, the owner, he was like, man, yeah, let's like do this. Like let's try making like a flavor, like very rare does a band get that opportunity. Usually a band gets offered like, we'll relabel our lager and we'll call it a day. No, these guys made us our own freaking flavor, and we got to taste test that stuff.
That's amazing.
And now it's like its own thing, and it was only meant to be a promotional thing at the time. It's gone on 3 years now since all that went down. It's not stopping, quite frankly, but obviously with so many things in motion that I had going into COVID versus coming out of COVID, I've had to steer some ships, like less prioritize certain things to focus on other things in the current, So the beer is one of them where it's like, if I can get it somewhere else, I will. If I find the opportunity naturally, I'm not going on the big hunt because I don't have that time right now, until it just makes sense, right? But it's there. When it's ready, it's there, and it's still available, in Welland, the Falls, Hamilton, Kincardine. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
So, yeah.
So it's a craft beer. Do you know some of the flavor profiles on it? Because I know it's delicious. Is that getting a little too hardcore on it? Because
no, it's chill, man.
Yeah.
So it's obviously the base of it is the Taps House Lager. I don't know what's in that thing, but it's good. But then what they did was they essentially got a giant tea bag, and they put hibiscus, rose hips, and like wild berries, like mulberries. All that chills in this giant tea bag for 4 weeks in the beer keg of the lager. And that's that. That's Bar Down Lager.
Solid. Rose hips, Rose City. Revive the rose. Nice touch.
And that was all their idea, the rose stuff. Like they're like, yeah, it's gonna have rose in there, obviously, You revive the rose.
That's a good touch.
Yeah. And so the way we decided the flavor at the end was based on how long that tea bag essentially sat in that thing for. So, here's what it tastes like only 2 weeks in, or 3 weeks, and obviously the longest was the best tasting one, the 4 week mark. So
nice.
Yeah. And I've definitely drank enough of it to know that it tastes good. Where now that I'm sober, it's all good, But
so does that mean you're never drinking again?
I don't know, man. I honestly,
you go with the flow.
Yeah. I won't drink tomorrow at the moment, but the way I see it right now is I have to one up everything I've ever done before I even think about that again.
I like that.
I gotta really buckle up and just get her done, man.
Keep the focus.
Yeah.
Have you seen an improvement since not drinking?
Oh my God, this whole especially I'm able to retain better memory on stuff. Like when I go out, I remember like a lot of stuff now. I would just like blurt over that, Or just like even the way I speak now, I feel like I'm more like I'm just more fluid. I use better word choices.
Focused, yeah.
I'm able to process emotions better now and stuff, and that obviously that helps me on a professional level too, right?
Awesome.
Just overall, just me personally, it's helped out a lot, and business wise, it's and even just like songwriting and just getting stuff done. The other thing I was looking at too is like, man, I'm a man of all these ships, and if I'm gonna be drinking the way I was, I can't man all those ships properly, man.
It's tough.
Yeah. So, and it's helped me really hyper focus on like prioritizing and making agendas for everything I do, and being the best I can be for my bandmates and the people I manage, and just I feel like I'm a better friend now. I feel like I'm better.
Props to that. See, like I did a lot of partying growing up.
Yeah.
Because you're way younger than me, eh? You said you're
28.
28 now. I'm 40. And
we're not far off.
12 years?
Yeah.
Bro, wait in 12 years where you're going to be at. It's going to be a lot. You're going to be way up here in 12 years. But anyway, like I used to party, and like now I don't much. I don't not drink, but I don't drink often. But I find it interesting because, definitely when you're playing music and playing gigs, or you're at bars, like alcohol's around. So it's pretty disciplined of you to say, I'm not drinking right now.
Yeah, actually,
I have a lot of respect for that.
I forgot about the whole performance part of it. Yeah, vocally, I'm like way better without drinking. Yeah, that's like probably one of the main ones, actually.
Interesting.
But it overall, Yeah, you know what? It's weird because I just got sick of it. Like I don't even crave it. I'm
What's the
just
peer
like,
pressure like? Are people respecting it or are they
oh, people
pushing you?
love it. In fact, some people have come to me like, yo, I've been thinking about that too, man. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
solid.
no way.
Solid.
So it's kind of cool that like that's why I like to post about it a lot. Like when I can, like if I reach a
Yeah.
milestone, I'll just say how great it's been because it's been great. And a
Yeah.
lot of people see that and like, yeah, I've been feeling like shit too, like, and it's just, I'm not saying drinking's bad. For me, it was bad at the moment though,
It's too much.
and I was gravitating the wrong energy. I felt, like,
Yeah, totally.
dealing with all the putanas and stuff. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, I don't got time for that, man. Like, I'm like, why can't I find a good gal even? Like,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, if I keep going that way, I'm gonna keep attracting the way I've been going, at least. You know what I mean? I'm not just a casual drinker. If you want me to drink, I'll drink. But
I feel ya.
just the lazy mindset I was getting and stuff, and
Yeah,
like the
bro.
next day I was all like, oh, I'm too lazy to do this. I don't want that. I want to be like, okay, I woke up. Yeah, sure, I got 5 hours of sleep, but I'm still thinking good.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Bro, I like that. I like that you're open about it too. I think that's amazing.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah.
Like I don't even know because, yeah, like I said, I used to party and now not so much. But for me, yeah, it was probably too much when I was partying.
Yeah.
It was probably too much. Like I had a lot of fun going too. But yeah, I really admire that. I don't know if you at some point want to be able to drink cash or not, or be able to enjoy a bar down.
The only thing I do crave, man, is wine. I do crave wine once in a while. I love wine.
Yeah, interesting.
And it's definitely more on the chill side, wine. You never, unless I'm like looking to pre-drink pretty solid, like I dummy the whole bottle. But like, wine's one I can coast on, though.
Yeah.
But I hope, goals-wise, I feel safe enough to come back to wine one day.
Yeah.
I think I've realized that recently.
Yeah.
I'd love to just work my way where when I'm ready, I'll come back to wine maybe. But
Yeah,
at the moment, I'm sober, dude.
Yeah, it's
not
solid.
going back.
And I'm not sure what the right balance is for you or for anybody, because I find that interesting how everybody handles alcohol and anything differently. Because like myself, like I don't crave alcohol. I barely drink it, but I do enjoy it. Like the last podcast I did it with Chris from The Spot.
Yeah.
When he got here, he owns a bar. I'm like, when you're here, I'm like, you want to drink water or a brewski? He's like, let's fire up a brewski. More than happy to share a beer with him. But if he said water, I got no problems with it. I get all my calories through food.
Yeah.
I try to avoid the extra calories of booze even. But
That's the one thing. I've been really focused on one day at a time for myself. Like I know I was talking to your co, what was his name?
Bion, yeah.
What's his name?
Bion.
Yeah. Bion was telling me I look like I can lift pretty well. Honestly, though, one day at a time, though, man. Right now, I've been so focused on being sober and just getting some music stuff done,
Nice.
But focusing on being sober, that's a big commitment on its own, for me. So, and just with everything I got going on a daily basis, like until I just gotta find that inspo I feel before I can like start getting heavy into the gym, But right now, time is everything for me right now.
Yeah.
If I'm kind of healthy enough, I'll go for a run once in a while.
Nice.
Go for a bike. But the fact that I cut out booze completely, I've definitely
It's a
slimmed down a
big-
little bit.
Yeah.
But when I'm ready to like focus on toning up, I will. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
I'm right now. I'm currently trying to reshift the diet part of it though. Now
Bro,
I'm like,
that's the tough part for me. I struggle with that part. I struggle because since our last podcast, when we did the last podcast, I'm sure I was a big boy. I'm sure.
I don't know, man. I think you're on your health kick by then, man. Because
Was it?
you lost a bunch of weight, dude.
Yeah, and now I got a little bit because like at my peak. So when I started in real estate, I was $155. At my peak, I was at 250. And then like just before COVID, when I started working out with Zach Spinoza and like getting on the health train, I got down to in the 170s, and now I'm at about 195.
That's what's up, though, man. That's sick.
What's
I haven't seen under 200 in years.
No.
People don't even like believe me when I tell them I'm like 245 though.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you hold that well, but yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. Whenever you can focus that in, like it's something I work on every day because like I love food. That's like, are you a food addict too?
I love food.
Bro.
that's what I was getting at kind of too. Like, you know, when I was really trying to focus on being sober, I'm like, you know what, the food is gonna stay right now. Like I need all the support I can get. If I want that freaking cheeseburger, man, I'm gonna eat that. That's what's gonna make me not choose booze. I'm gonna have that fucking McDouble, you know what I mean?
Get it in.
But now I'm like, okay, I got a hold on this. Now okay, let's cut some bullshit out, you know?
Bro, that's good, sustainable, long-term thinking. You don't have to do it all in one shot.
No, and that's the thing I've learned. I've tried to always do that, and I'm like, you can't.
No. So I don't know. I'll share with you. I don't know if it'll help or not, but I'll just tell you some of my health hacks with the foods. If it
the
helps
good
or
food
not.
going on upstairs, man. You're cooking some good stuff.
Yeah, that was all right, Robin. I was just eating it, but like certain things, everybody's different, right? But I'll share with you some of the things that have helped me and that I try and focus on. Like I've gone through different points. I'm not like big on breakfast. But what I've been doing a lot lately is I start my day with one of these with a smoothie. I make a smoothie that's super easy that does carry me for a bunch of time. Like, are you a breakfast guy or not a breakfast guy?
Not as much anymore, man, because actually in 2020, I did do the keto diet for a hot minute, and that developed a lot of new habits that I carry with me to this day now.
Good or bad habits?
Good.
Yeah.
My coffees are always black now. No more sugars in that.
Good.
I don't usually eat until noon. So I don't really crave breakfast, really, man. Very emergency reasons, I'll do that. But like, because I did intermittent fast. Or was it is that the word intermittent?
Intermittent.
Yeah, I did that fasting while doing keto. So I learned that habit to avoid breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what gets you on the foods? What's the tough part? Overeating or eating bad or like?
Oh man, I love the cheese. I love
cheese is so good.
I love just carbs, man. You know, it's hard. I grew up Italian, man. Like, you know, always craving that the dough.
Yeah, I feel that. So like the different things I went through when I lost the 70 pounds this time, then something that I tried to do, because then when I hit that, when I'm like, okay, like I was at a good weight for where I wanted to be. I'm like, how do I improve from here? And I tried to go whole food, plant-based. Which is a great diet, but was tough for me. And it's because like for lunch, like I might eat a bowl of salad the size of this table, and half an hour later I'm hungry.
You're hungry.
Yeah. And like one of the things that people that go down that way told me that I thought was exciting was you get to eat more food, because I love eating.
Yeah.
But that sounds good. But then when you have to eat crazy amounts of food to be full, because I like to be full.
Yeah, me too.
And like that was hard to accomplish with that. So that didn't work out as well. Even though we do have a good focus on plant-based, we don't solely. And like right now, since I've been lifting more with Bion, trying to focus more on the protein, which there's different outlooks on that, whether you should be doing it with meats or not. Because I read a book, How Not to Die, and that's a plant-based book that scared me into not eating meat.
Really?
Bro, it's like, it's scary. How Not to Die by Dr. Greger. If you want just to see a little glimpse into the plant-based life, it's a crazy book. Like it's like this thick, and it's nothing but like I don't know, I retain like 2% of it because there's so much knowledge in there. But yeah, but then going from there, like now, I try to just go back to like some of the basics of before, like lean proteins and like, lower on the carbs, because I love carbs too. I can eat pasta and bread until I die.
Yeah, actually, pasta's one. I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
I think I just had so much of it growing up. I'm like, you know, I'm over it. But bread, I'm never sick of bread. White pizza, you know, that's what's up, you know.
Yeah, so good.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned shakes.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do want to bring back, because I found those were really filling actually in the moment. Like
they are. Bro.
I felt like it was just like a lot of stuff at once.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just the shake would just hit the spot all the time.
Bro,
and that's
good.
what was keeping me lunch. That was my lunch every day, was a shake.
Mm-hmm. So the ones I do, I don't know, I just share it with you. Like I throw in a blender a banana. I throw in the blender some frozen berries, whatever we have. Right now we have blackberries growing on Gonzalez Farm. So those are nice, tasty.
Nice.
Yes, they're good. Throw it in there, act as the ice when they're frozen. So that makes it better, because if you don't, you end up with a warm smoothie, which isn't as fantastic. It's peach season right now, so I've been throwing in some peaches. But then I put in a scoop of unflavored protein, which I like to use because to me it's clean, and like I get to flavor the smoothie how I want,
Right.
and it's half price compared to ones with flavor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a 4-pound tub of it is the same price of a 2-pound of like a flavored one. So,
Really?
yeah. So I don't know. I bought it online. I can show you the link later or whatever. But like I've done flavored ones too, because flavored proteins I find are nice for, like, it is nice when you make a smoothie. But then if you ever want to make one and not add anything, like a super quick, like I got to go out the door and you just put protein and water and shake it up. A flavored one is great. I haven't tried that with the unflavored, but
Well, no, that's great because I find I'm always catering to the powder. Like, what flavor of stuff will go well with this? Like, the vanilla one was pretty common for me, but if I had a plain one that didn't taste like nothing, then it's easy. It's
bro,
like,
it's so
you know
easy.
exactly what you're gonna taste by what you're throwing in there.
Exactly. And yeah, it's nice. It's cheaper. But I often add vanilla extract to it to give it that kick up, but not always. And then I put in cinnamon, cocoa powder, and turmeric. That's like my go-to. And like, I don't know. Sometimes I get crazy. I've been more on a plainer one, but sometimes I get crazy and start throwing in the hemp hearts and the chia seeds and all that stuff.
Wow.
But then when you throw that stuff in, it gets like super thick. So like, yeah, it's a combination of the texture you want. But
You
that
ever throw the honey in there at all?
oh, I have. Honey's great.
Yeah.
Honey's great. I mean, like I try and reduce the calories, but yeah, honey's probably calories can afford.
I'd slap the Greek yogurt in there once in a while too.
Greek yogurt's fantastic.
Yeah, I felt like gave it a good texture and a flavor. And that's another one you could shift the flavor if you get the plain powder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool.
Greek yogurt is really good stuff. Yeah, see, like How Not to Die in the book, he says stay away from it. But something I did yesterday as a little bit of a hack is I took some Greek yogurt with some Frank's hot sauce, mixed that together, and it's kind of like a buffalo chicken dip.
Whoa.
But
as soon as you
protein.
said those two things, I'm like, that just blew my mind because that probably tastes amazing.
Bro, it's so good. I've done the same type of thing with hot sauce and cottage cheese for like kind of like a buffalo chicken healthy-ish thing. But
Wow, that's interesting, man. I never thought about that.
yes, yeah. Like these are little hacks. Like a big one too is egg whites. I mean, egg whites pack a lot of protein and they're low calories. It's a great way. Like we get them from Costco. You get a 500 milliliter container, and that's like that's a big meal eating one of those. And like maybe it's $5. I don't know, but you get a lot of protein, low cal. I don't even know if that's 200, 300 calories in one of those things. And
Really? Why do you avoid the yolk? I never understood why people avoid the yolk.
Well, the yolk is delicious, but if you're trying to lose weight, the yolk has calories, right? So
I see.
The whole trick to weight loss is having a deficit in calories. So like, but yeah, it's good. Yeah, like Bion, like he's super knowledgeable in that. He's like telling me sometimes like, yeah, put in a whole egg with the egg whites because you want to get some of those like whatever is in the yolks, the I don't know, the good fats and the cholesterols and whatever. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you go too hardcore, you go out of balance, right? Which to me, I found it easier losing weight than once I got to 170 and then I was trying to maintain. Because when I was trying to lose weight, you're like in the mindset of, okay, I'm not going to eat that cheeseburger, or I'm not going to do this or that. But then once you hit like a weight and now you're like, okay, I can have a cheeseburger.
Yeah, you started allowing it, you know?
Yeah, and then the next day, I can have a cheeseburger and a milkshake. And then, I can have that slice of pizza and, I'm fat again.
Yes, that's right, man. Yeah.
Because it's tough but when you're like me, when I'm on the weight loss, it's like, nope to everything. And that's almost easier than like, yes, sometimes.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. I'm glad you got that discipline. I respect that, man. That takes a lot.
It's not perfect right now, that's for sure, but working on it.
Yeah, man. No, I feel ready though to take on that diet commitment again. Though it took a while, but
Yeah.
now that I'm comfortable with the sober thing, I'm like, yeah.
Good stuff.
I'll still sesh though and stuff, you know, like I'll do that stuff, but
Yeah.
booze, nope.
I like it.
Yeah.
Favorite pizza in Welland?
Oh man, that's tough because they're all different, man. Like you can't like. I feel like the Rex, you can't even like say, you can't even like evaluate that za to Rose City za, for
It's
example.
completely different.
But you can like you could put Luciano's in Rose City in a contender match. You know, those are
For me.
similar.
Yeah.
But like I love the Rex, But when I say favorite pizza, like the Rex is up there with another one though. And honestly, man, I do believe, I think, in my humble opinion, um, that some of the best pizza I had was simply Rose City, man.
Oh yeah, Rose City's great pizza.
Yeah, I just think it stands out. I really think it stands out. There's a lot of great pizza in general in Welland. Their sauce really stands out. I think that's cool, man. And they got the focaccia. It's another
I was
good.
just gonna say, you like the focaccias too?
Oh, I mean, the old man will crush that all the time, man. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We did it for his birthday, actually. That's what we got.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What, you did focaccia and the lock?
Oh, dude, we did. I just realized that we did that for lunch, the focaccia, and then we did the lock for dinner.
That's amazing. The lock is so good.
Oh, yeah. That's my favorite za, too. But then, see, that's in the wood oven territory, though.
Yeah, it's a completely different
Like,
beast, but yeah.
Because Mateo's in Welland's really good, too.
Mateo's is good.
Like in Welland, you can't put Mateo's with. You know what I mean, man? Like, unless there's
I
another
know.
wood oven za place in Welland, which there is, Bridgewater. Which honestly, Bridgewater, cool place. Za doesn't even touch Mateo's, though. I'll say that.
No, not yet.
No.
They got a lot of work to do to get there if they want to. They can. They have a great facility there. That place, you've been there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I love what they did there. They've made it really nice there.
The only place I haven't chilled is the back patio. I've done the front patio and then the inside. That back patio looks mint.
Yeah, I've only done inside. I haven't done the patios yet. Should
Yeah,
maybe do
it's
that.
beautiful in there, man.
Yeah.
Really well done there. Yeah.
Mateo still has one thing that I have not had. I've done 430-ish pizza reviews. They're the only one I've been to so far with the Windsor cut pepperoni. They do the shredded pepperoni.
Yeah, they do.
That's
yeah.
the only place so far that I've had that. That's like super unique that they do that there.
Oh, they're authentic as it gets, man. It's really good. Actually, I honestly, I don't crave. I don't know. I'm not a guy that goes out to get pasta. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people I
Every
meet
time,
though, they don't grow up like I do. They're always
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I love pasta," and it's like, well, I like it, but not going out for it. There, I am.
Yeah,
Their pasta, and they got like the cool flavors, like it's like all the hybrids. Oh, it's so good, it's so great. Yeah, I really recommend their pasta.
Their food's good
Yeah.
stuff. Can you tell we're starting to get hungry? The lock, and you got to go. Yeah, we're getting close to that. But the lock, what's your go-to order there?
You know what, man? Straight up, I think it's like the 3 or 4 cheese pizza they got.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that thing, man.
That's up there for me too.
Yeah, just the dough is so good, So like, I know it's a simpler pizza, but like the dough itself is its own beast. So like, it's not just a cheese pizza. Like, it's a whole experience, man. That and I was a big fan of the what's the one with honey on it? I think it's called like prosciutto on it or something.
They
I
have
always forget the names, but like when I see it, I'm like, yeah, that one.
one that's I think like the New York, which may or may not have honey, and then there's a Calabrese I think that may have the honey.
I think it's the Calabrese one, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really good, man.
Yeah.
I played it safe on Saturday. My parents are kind of picky with the whole cold cuts on za, but I got the OG cheese pap cappuccino.
Nice.
I got the old I think it was the Greek pizza. That was really good.
Oh yeah, I like all their pizzas. My go-tos there is their Roman style, which has cup and char and the lay flat, and they do it. It's kind of an oval.
Yes.
And they put sauce on top, and they have sesame seed crust.
Yeah.
That one's dynamite. I love their margarita pizza.
That one's really good. The margarita's great.
So simple, so elegant, and they have a queen margarita, which I forget what that means, but both those are fantastic. Yeah, like I love, and that cheesy one it's just a bunch of cheeses that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Those are like my 4 go-tos. Even though I like the steak one, they have or barbecue steak one.
Haven't tried that one yet.
Solid because it's got jalapenos and barbecue sauce.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like them all, but those tend to be the go-tos. But
Yeah, the one thing I got to try there is their Nutella pizza because I did a Zappy's review on like 3 of their dishes there. They asked me to review like an app, and then they specifically wanted me to try a sub, and then they specifically wanted me to try the Nutella pizza. So that Nutella pizza was dang good. But from that, I learned the lock has a Nutella pizza. I haven't tried it yet.
you know what I like even better?
What?
You ready for this one?
Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
This one, All Right Robin and I have biked from here to the lock to have this, and it's their apple pie pizza, which we just absolutely love. That's our favorite.
Whoa, they got that?
Bro, bro.
You
Lived in
biked there, eh? That's hard.
We biked there so that we could earn it. We've done it before. We biked there. We have a margarita pizza and an apple pie pizza, and like, yeah, apple pie pizza. That's one of my favorite desserts.
Oh, apple pie?
Apple pie, yes, and their apple pie pizza.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like they nail it with that. The only thing is like I don't think they have gelato anymore, and it would be so good with a nice scoop of vanilla.
Oh,
ice cream or
slapper on
gelato.
top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That actually, Zappy's, the Nutella pizza, they slapped a scoop on there too. It was like, oh my God.
Zappy's is a good spot too.
It is
Yeah,
good, man.
yeah.
Yeah, really good. Nice people there too. Really nice people.
Yeah, super nice. Yeah,
Did
I
you do a
met them.
review there too?
Yeah.
I imagine you did.
Yeah.
That's like
yeah.
one of the mains.
Yeah. And like going into that one was interesting because I'd never been there ever once in my life before doing the pizza review. And I thought it was a tourist trap just because of where it was. And like they had kind of like a nice sign.
Me too. I did think that too.
I'm like, this place is going to not be it. And like when I walked in, one of the owners was there, was super friendly. I don't think he knew who I was. He was just being super nice. And the pizza was fantastic. I think I gave it an 8.9.
Wow.
And like I was going there thinking, I'm like, it's going to be trash. But no, a really good spot.
That's crazy. While you're in the vicinity, you eat like all these pizzas. Like obviously you don't clear the whole pie in one go. Do you just bring it all home after and just like
share them all? Yeah, sure. Like if you're ever around when I'm doing reviews, it's like Christmas. I'm like Pizza Claus, just giving out pizza to everybody.
just always missing like a slice.
Yeah, like because when we do reviews, we go out. Actually, this Saturday we went out and did 15 reviews in one sesh.
Wow.
So I had basically 14 pizzas because if you take a slice out and just shared them with whoever's around. Yeah, so
And you have to get the whole pie. You can't evaluate just a slice.
I could, and I'm actually going to be challenged with something in less than a month. I order a pie for a couple of reasons because one, if I get just a slice, how long has it been sitting there? Right. Sometimes a slice might just be a fresh one, or it might be sitting there a couple hours. So
With the full pie, you're guaranteed.
it's going to be a fresh cook.
Yeah.
So like it cost me like 20 times more to do a full pie review, and I end up giving it all away. But I feel like it's a great representation it's giving them the best shot of putting out their best product. I think
so.
I feel like, but me and the boys are going to Vegas in a few weeks for our 40th birthdays.
Wicked.
And I want to do some pizza reviews there. But I was looking at some of the prices of pizza there, and it's like 70 US for a pizza.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, am I actually going to have to do slices? Because like, it's going to cost me a small fortune. It's going to cost me more than the plane ride to do some pizza reviews there. So I haven't decided yet how I'm going to handle that.
$70 for a za. What are they putting on that thing?
I don't know, gold, bro.
Yeah, damn.
I don't know.
Is it Goldschlager? They got bits of gold in that? Like, damn.
Yeah, so that's how I always handle it, is with a full za. But I don't know. I literally am not sure how I'm going to handle that yet, because like I was thinking maybe like if I'm planning on doing 12 reviews in Vegas, that is 840 US if they were all 70. I was thinking, do I go to the blackjack table and play an $840 hand, and if I win, then I get all the pies, and if I lose, am I maybe just getting slices?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
I don't know what kind of degenerate's going to come out in me when I go out there, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, man. It'll be a fun time though, Vegas, man.
Yeah.
So who films for you, I guess, in this scenario when it's not All Right Robin? Because you said it's just the guys.
Yeah, it'll be one of the boys for sure. Whoever I can get to hold the camera for those ones. Yeah, because it's usually either All Right Robin, or Matthew.
Do you use like an actual camera versus like the iPhone?
Yeah, we've gone through different phases of like when I first started making content, it was with a phone, and then I got like what is that camera? Not Osmo, whatever. But yeah, now we use like Chew's got a Sony camera of some sort that we use.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to start small though, right? That's how you climb,
totally.
right?
Yeah, yeah. With content, it's just all about getting it out there. You can improve on production, but I would take putting it out. Like so many people I talk to that they try to come up with the perfect scenario of like having a camera or having mics or like having this stuff versus just get it going, just make it and go. But Yeah, you said with music at first it's better to come out with a good one out the gate.
But then now, like lately, because TikTok and all that stuff, yeah, audio wise, yeah, make that shit sound good.
Yeah.
But like you can like even with Revive, sometimes the vibe is the DIY vibe, like with the phone versus spending the money on like a high tech camera. Sometimes the vibe is just like get the phone out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the vibe of the content. Like
Totally.
sometimes that's just the way you got to go, and you save a lot of money that way. You know, but as long as the audio is sounding really good, man, you got a good song. That speaks volumes. And we've definitely noticed that with our last single that we dropped called Think Too Much. And that one's really different. It's got like kind of like reggae, hip hop inspiration thrown in there too, but also like super heavy rock. But we just noticed that like, you know, we put a little more, you know, money in it and love, and it's just nuts. Like how like the difference. It's like, wow, we're a whole different band.
You guys have been good at that though, that your music sounds, to me, I'm sure you can tell, but when I've heard it a bunch of times, I'm like, this is clean.
Thanks, man.
That's like, 'cause, yeah, you hear different things, and I'm no audio expert whatsoever. And even before I was getting into content and understanding the difference between good video and good audio and everything, you guys have been good at making clean music.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't even want to say you're welcome because that's just good work on you.
I appreciate it, man.
So I think maybe before we shut her down, what are some future things that we're looking at that we can, with either Revive the Rose or you, or like upcoming gigs or anything? What are some things that we're looking forward to?
Yeah, well, it's the month of September right now. We got two big shows in September. One is in 2 days. We're playing the main stage of Supercrawl Festival in Hamilton.
Sick.
Which is sick. Because we never played that festival. We always wanted to, and we thought maybe they'd test us out on the side stage first. They threw us right up there on the main, which is dope. Had a good time. And then we're opening for our pals Monster Truck, another reputable Canadian band who I've happened to become really good friends with over the years. They've been super supportive of Revive the Rose, you know. So we get to play with them at Moose and Goose in Thorold in 2 weeks.
Sick.
And then... we haven't announced it yet, but we're announcing it next week anyway. We have a show in Hamilton in December at Bridgeworks, which is a beautiful venue. We're opening for our friends, the Monowhales, and it's going to be great. And yeah,
Nice.
we got more tunes coming out. We just finished recording some singles. I got country music coming out too on top of the rock singles, and more shows, man, more bangers. That's it, you know, and more bigger picture things are coming for sure.
I love it. What are some of the best, or where can people find you and everybody?
Yeah, if you look up me, Andy Colonico, you'll see right in my Instagram bio, I got Revive the Rose. If you want to see my band, you can check out my own music. You can view my other project, Doobie. If you like food content, I just do general hobby food content under Andy C. Bro. And Snare Guy Records, all my events are there.
Love it.
And Bar Down Lager, if you want to check out the beer.
I love it. Last question.
Yeah.
Death row meal. If you're on death row.
Oh, I'll tell you right now. First of all, I'd get a double grilled cheese cooked on a gas stove with pickles and made with processed cheese.
I love this. I love this.
And then it'd be a quadruple bacon mushroom melt from Wendy's.
Quadruple, baby.
Oh, yeah. And then probably, well, I guess I can't say multiple meals, but I guess like,
bro,
it'd be one meal though, right?
Death row, bro.
And then I'd get the 2 for $10 Burger King junior chicken, or not junior chicken, the OG chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
2 of them. Just mayo and lettuce, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably get a 10-piece McNugget in there.
With what to dip?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm a plain Janer. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, no sweet and sour, no honey, no nothing.
That's it.
Okay.
And then probably some chicken strips from Popeyes, and I'd probably have veal parmesan as well, made by my nonna specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's death row.
That's chicken wings?
Oh, true, dude. Sorry, pound of Hank's Parm chicken wings.
I love
Yeah,
it.
specifically Hank's Parm.
And to wash it all down, if it's death row, you can have a drink because it's going to be the end.
Oh, McDonald's iced tea.
Oh,
Because it's different, and also McDonald's Coke with that, large for both, and probably an ice cap. I like ice caps, but I don't have them often because they make me freaking massive.
yeah. You think you could finish all
chocolate
that?
milk.
Do you think you could finish all that? What if they said if you don't finish, I don't know, there'd be a worse punishment than dying, even though dying is pretty bad. But would you be able to finish all that?
Actually, before I answer that, sorry, there's 2 more items: Costco fries with dog, and buffalo chicken slice from Osmond's. Just a slice.
Just a slice.
Yeah, buffalo chicken
What
pizza.
What'd you say? Costco fries with what?
With the hot dog, Costco dog.
Oh, with the dog.
And yeah, the sad part is I can do that, no problem. That's easy.
I think I could handle that meal too.
Yeah, it's gluttonous, but it's doable.
Oh yeah, I think I could. But you're like me. I've asked this to a couple of people. I was on a podcast once, and he asked me, and I thought it was a fun question to ask. And like sometimes people, just come up with like the idea of a meal just being like, like a steak and a side and a potato and a drink. But then like me, I would fill this table. I guess. But now I just put in a little twist. If you don't finish it, there'd be a punishment. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just take it anyway.
And I can't tell if I get my bacon fix from the bacon mushroom out, or if I would also need just like a little pile of bacon on the side. Like, I don't know.
Do you like your bacon crispy or soft?
I'm more of a soft bacon dude, straight up.
Yeah.
But like crispy bacon's cool once in a while. But
Yeah.
And cheese puffs. Those would also be there. I forgot about those.
Cheese puffs are
Like Cheetos. With the puff, not the crunch.
like the ones that come in the Costco thing that are like this.
No, not the balls.
Not the balls.
No, the OG Chester Cheeto, the puffy one though. Like not the skinny ones.
Cheesies.
Cheesies, puffs though. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That would be it.
What do you think about the crunchy ones?
They're good, but like there's not the same vibe at the same time. I can't explain it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Bro, this was sick.
Dude, thanks for having me on, man.
Yes, this was great. All right, we'll shut her down.
Yeah.